Here's a really cool project you can easily do on a scroll saw, and that is turn a picture into a puzzle. Here's what I've done already. I took a picture of one of my favorite animals, an elk, and printed it out on my computer. So just regular old computer paper. I then used spray adhesive and I fastened it to this piece of 1/4-inch plywood that I had laying around. Once that glue was dry, I trimmed up the edges so that the edge of the picture was perfectly even with the edge of the plywood. Then I used an aerosol can of shellac and I sprayed a couple of coats of shellac over the top of the whole thing just to help protect the paper a little bit. Next step, we can come to the scroll saw and have a look at how to make this picture become a puzzle. Well, I've got a good start on getting my jigsaw puzzle going here. So let's talk about blade selection and what it's going to take to make this go well and come out nice. I'm using a number 2 blade. Now the general rule of thumb is with these number 2 blades, and they have about 20 teeth per inch, number 2 blade would be used in 1/4-inch material and less. So that's talking about the thickness of the material. What that real fine tooth count is doing for me is giving me a great surface finish on the edge of these puzzle pieces, so there isn't going to be any sanding required at all. So that's my blade selection. It's going to work great in this 1/4-inch plywood. I'm ready to keep going and finish turning my elk into a puzzle. Well, let's talk about a couple keys for making jigsaw puzzles on your scroll saw here. One is, notice that I'm not actually using the pressure foot here. And the reason for that is I don't want that foot dragging across the top of my picture, and even with the shellac on there, taking the chance that I'm going to scratch something here. So holding that pressure foot up off the work, and that means I've got to be careful about holding it down. Did get a little bit of chatter every once in a while, and that's just for me not pushing down quite hard enough. The other thing, as you're making your pieces, just remember all the jigsaw puzzles you put together. And one thing I'm trying to do is get them to interlock so that when everything is put together, it stays together. So as I make these cuts, I'm making it so that there's a concave, a convex, and then another concave, so that when I put those parts together, they're going to stay locked together. So really, it's a pretty simple process, and it's a lot of fun. You can take any picture that you have and turn it into a puzzle, just like I'm doing here.